We are back. It's game one here tonight of Jeremy and Jeremy's DnDTime. This is an adventure that I have entitled Just Dwarf Problems, Competitive Mining. But before we dive into the adventure, I want to just take a brief moment to say hello to all of these lovely characters that are joining us tonight, including one that's jumping at the last moment as we were missing a player. So first and foremost, running in at the last moment, Terao Minoru. How are you doing? And did I pronounce your last name correctly, Terao?
Yes, actually, it did.
Terao, how are you?
Well, I've spent a lot of time floating about in what I thought was the astral plane, and it was an enlightening experience, and I think even my voice may have changed a little as a result of it, but let's not dwell on that.
Wow. You know, I know there are a lot of people who, I think it's something in the air of the lands of DnDTime, that it affects their voices. I know, like, a lot of our famous NPCs have those problems, but I've seen a lot of Bartholomew's adventurers also suffering from it. I think this is maybe something you should get a professional to look at, because Bartholomew might just be, I don't know, he's got to give you a safe work environment, I think, you know?
Well, if the biggest problem I have is that my voice has changed a little, all my fingers and toes are here, that's good enough for me.
Oh, okay. When you said all my fingers and toes, I thought you were going to say aren't here, or like, and I was like, whoa, they're all there. We're okay. So Terao, you got stranded in the Astral Sea, and this is what, your second adventure with the company?
Yes, actually.
How do you feel about that? I mean, how long did Bartholomew leave you just floating?
Truth be told, I have no idea. It's very hard to keep a sense of time out there.
Yep. Well, Terao, hopefully it was just a few. I'm sure it was just a few minutes. Bartholomew's not that irresponsible. You didn't just get back, did you?
No, actually, I've just been reevaluating some things as a result of my interesting experience out there. I don't regret my employment, of course. It's nice to have a contract that says I can't die.
I mean, that is a very valid point. I feel like a lot of people who adventure with Bartholomew's do it for that reason. Anyway, Terao, welcome back. It's great to have you. Our next hero this evening, we haven't seen you in a while. Billi B. Bonka Jr. Esquire, the Choco Lich. I'm sorry, we can't call you the Choco Lich officially yet. Currently, you are the human undead wizard, or the undead human wizard. But you will be the Choco Lich, I think, right?
It'll work, I guess.
Billi, how have you been? It's been a while. Have you just been very busy with your work?
Well, beyond that whole thing during that Carnival of Souls thing, yeah, it's just pretty much been busy with work. However, today, both Mocha and Delusia kind of kicked me out of the tower and told me to do something until I get back.
Interesting. Do you think they're like planning something? Is this like a devious plot?
I know for sure what they're doing. They're just trying to set up a surprise party for me since my birthday is tomorrow.
That's amazing. Well, happy soon-to-be birthday, Billi. I will say, is it really a surprise? I mean, I guess it's the thought that counts, right?
Yes, I mean, the only thing
surprised.
No, the party's not going to be a surprise. Whatever they set up inside there, more than likely will.
Would you consider them tricksters of a sort?
Mocha, yes. Delusia, she's not very good at parties, so I guess all she'll be doing is make sure all the workers are in line and whatnot.
Well, you know, it's good. You need the straight man in those circumstances sometimes. Just make sure everything actually works out. So Billi, I mean,
yes.
I know you've had a couple of adventures with us before, and in the past, they've been pretty gruesome.
Yes, everything from the Minotaur goring me to the most recent event of being torn apart by sharks and whatnot.
Yeah, you seem to die in a very high % of your adventures. Do you think it's just a spout of bad luck?
You know what people say. Everyone loves chocolate.
You know what, Billi? I can't argue with that. You're just so delicious to kill. Anyway, Billi, welcome back. I'm sure this adventure is going to go, I hope this adventure is going to go a lot better than maybe your previous. I mean, it's not like they went badly. You won. But I'm sure you're gonna have a good one. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Our next character this evening returns from the gritty streets of Montague. Vaudius, how are you?
I'm doing very well. I've been training and I've picked up a couple new skills since the last time we've met. I'm looking forward to employing them well, while I am, there's always a bittersweet part of bringing that up because my skills are often in times of need when people have faced loss of life, of property. I always seem to come across people in the hard times.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes to say there's a lot of unfortunate stuff that happens in the world. But I mean, that's kind of the lot of the adventuring life. But Vaudius, I'm gonna be honest, I couldn't help but focus on a pun that I don't think you intended, but I'm wondering, being a bee Therian, you're a bee person.
Correct.
Do you make honey, and is it bitter or sweet?
That depends on what I've had. As you know, that honey is a regurgitative product that we are able to create, and so
but
much
you
how
retain,
people like to create craft. Well, people make craft
ability.
ales. I make craft vomit. So if you want some spice, then I need to make sure that I eat that beforehand. If you want something a little bit more, something's kind of spicy, then I would need to have that, and then I will make sure to produce for you. It's something that I do on the side, and well, now that I've found Zuzip, there was that ceremony and all last time. I've been able to fulfill a portion of the mission about why I was originally sent out this way.
I see. I was thinking maybe I would want to try that honey, but I don't think I do quite right now. Maybe another time. Have you gotten any more info on that Zuzip? I mean, as far as I'm aware, they just kind of appeared out of nowhere and then were murdered brutally. Have you been able to track down any of their lineage or their heritage?
The Zuzip that you know is actually has gone rogue from the Zuzips back home, and has established herself as a singular one instead of part of the Zuzip collective. And the others that she's been planting this whole time have also been rogue elements. I've been sent out to try and address these elements.
So you're gonna have to try and arrest Zuzip.
If it comes to it, though, I sincerely hope that it does not.
I know Zuzip. When you piss them off, they've got a temper. So just be a little careful.
I will do my best, yes. In the meantime, I'm acquainting myself with these lands of DnDTime, getting to know the beats, the rhythms, and, well, perhaps when the day comes that I confront Zuzip for the things that she's done, I will be in a better position to do so.
And by these things that she's done, do you mean just the individual being an individual, or planting all of the rogue Zuzips?
Yes.
Okay.
To all of that. It's a possible threat to the stability of our home.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure it was more than just the being an individual part. Well, buddies, welcome back. It's great to have you, of course. And I'm sure this will be a very insightful adventure for you here in the land of DnDTime. Hopefully you can learn a little bit more about our culture, about the cultures that exist here. And welcome. And last but certainly not least, eating a bag of chips, it sounds, Mr. Skeltal. How you doing, Mr. Skeltal?
I'm doing all right. I'm pretty sure that our friend Vaudius over here was just sent here to set up the place abuzz.
I see. So, Mr. Skeltal, you're new here in the lands of DnDTime. How did you find your? Well, I guess maybe not the lands of DnDTime. That's a little short-sighted of me. To Bartholomew's Adventuring Company. How did you find yourself in Bartholomew's employment?
Well, he seemed as good a choice as any. It seems not to necessarily care too much about my undeath. And Mr. Skeltal kind of looks down and through his torso. I suppose I can be kind of scary to some people.
Yeah, I mean, I know some people really aren't, they can be off-put by those kind of things, but I'm wondering, because it's hard for me to see, I'm going blind. I'm wondering, are you like fully decomposed? Are you like just a skeleton? Or are you kind of like, okay, so you're not
I am a skeleton.
There's no like little bits of flesh on there. You're just straight bone.
Yep, just bone.
And I've noticed you're carrying with you a beautiful instrument. Where did you get that? Where did you come upon it?
I noticed it sitting around some mansion that seemed rather seemed rather odd. I didn't wander my way in there. I just ran up, grabbed this beautiful instrument, and ran back away.
I see it's already made. It's also made of bone. It seems like a match made in the material plane, for lack of better.
Yeah. It seemed almost like it was left there for me to find.
That's really convenient. I gotta, I just realized something. Mr. Skeltal, being an undead creature, does the thought of an afterlife, like, how do you feel about that?
Well,
or is it just like, this is afterlife, you're just here?
Yeah, I mean, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's certainly things after life that aren't this undeath, but then again, this undeath hasn't been too bad. So,
no, excellent. And my final question, I'm going to leave you with this, Mr. Skeltal. I don't. Maybe we could just answer this in a very simple way, just yes or no. Before you were an undead creature, do you remember that? And if so, was your name also Mr. Skeltal?
No, that was not my name. I can't really remember what it was. Was quite a very long time ago.
Well, I guess that's fair enough, Mr. Skeltal. I hope you enjoy your adventure this evening. I'm sure there's plenty to just learn and explore here in the lands of DnDTime. So I hope you have a great time.
Well, thank you very much.
And so, with our 4 heroes introduced, our adventure fades in. You stand atop a mountain peak. Around you, the wind blows furiously, kind of whipping against you. You're probably knee or ankle deep in snow, and there's a bit of quite a bit of it coming down, actually, as you've been winding up and up and up this steep mountain in kind of the northwest region of the lands of DnDTime. And so as you kind of trudge up this mountainside path, you come to a clearing right near the very top of the mountain. You can see before you a massive set of stone gates. They stretch almost 40 feet high, built into the mountainside. On either side, a massive statue of a dwarf with a hollowed out head. You can see their mouths are open in the statues, and atop them inside stand dwarven guards, seemingly on duty. But as you turn around and you see this, you know that you have reached the entrance to the dwarven city of Ag, your destination. What would you all like to do?
I guess I could make a little business deals here, see if anyone here likes some of my Billi Bonka candy here.
I'm eager to explore the interior. I'm reminded a bit of a hive.
Right now, it's very cold as the wind kind of bites against you, and the snow is just, well, all over the ground around you. You hear one of the dwarves call down, "What? Who goes there?"
Bartholomew's adventurers.
"Oh, come right on over to the door, then we'll let you in." He calls down.
Good. It's a pain to try and read a book in this wind.
You have a book?
Yes, I keep it with me at all times.
Oh, is it a spooky book?
Not a particularly spooky book. Actually, it's a philosophical book.
What is it called?
Well, it's one book instead of
I'm not
5.
here. I'm sorry. I'm the narrator now. Yeah, all right. So, Do you just narrate to yourself all this information about your book, Terao? Or are you talking with one of the other characters maybe about your book?
I had mistakenly thought that one of the dwarves was interested in my reading material.
No, I'm about 40 feet up in this tower. I can't see anything. The bloody snow's too bad here.
Don't worry, I'll bring it up to you.
All right. As you all go to approach the big double doors here, rather than the magnificent grinding open of the doors that maybe you expect, a grand entrance, instead like a tiny second door opens up in the big doors. This door is about 5.5 feet tall. It's dwarf sized, and it kind of opens up and pushes out against about 1.5 feet, 2 feet of snow that's gathered up here on this mountain ledge. And you see a dwarf bundled up in a fur jacket with a kind of fur-lined mantle. Come on in, get out of the cold. Jeez, it's terrible out there.
Billy Bonka has to duck down and go through the door.
I imagine most of you probably do. All right, so you all just head in?
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. The dwarf kind of like looks at each of you to go by like, oh. He seems kind of off-put at kind of each of you. Terao, he seems maybe like the least bothered by you, but it's like Billi B. Bonka walks by there. Oh, jeez, what are you? And then Vaudius, do you like mostly like fly, like flutter hover with your wings, or do you walk?
I'm gonna walk as things are, if they're gonna be kind of tight, and also I don't want to. Sorry, hang on.
No, all good.
No background stuff.
So Vaudius trudges in through the snow as well, and then Mr. Skeltal, you're the last one, and the dwarf looks at you, and it gives you.
I probably kind of appear out of the snow too.
Yeah, right, because you blend in really well, and especially with all the wind and the snow blowing down, and it gives you a look at first like, well, at least I understand what you are. You're not like a bee person or a chocolate man, but you're also a skeleton. So it gives you this weird look of like, I understand you, so I'm not as frightened by you. But usually these are evil. Anyway, he doesn't bother you though, this dwarven guard, seemingly cowing before the name of Bartholomew's adventurers. Or maybe not cowing, but respecting. And so as you all kind of enter in, you find yourselves within a mountain-top cavern. The sound of the wind dies away behind you, and the door shuts behind you, thick, almost foot-wide stone. And you see before you the hollowed-out inside of this mountaintop. You see a brilliant light shining from what would be the peak of this cavern. It illuminates all throughout the cavern, reflecting off of silver panels embedded upon the walls. You can see before you, sprawled out, a city. Lots of squat stone buildings, fine thoroughfares, and you can see mechanical contraptions as well, large wheels and things in the distance. You also see, in its center, a large necropolis of sorts, plated with silver, atop which stands a large dwarf statue, also made of silver. It holds in each palm, which are outstretched by its sides, the dwarven runes A and G. And the dwarf looks at you all. Well, welcome to Ag, City of Silver. I'm Danathan. If there's anything I can do for you, let me know, but I assume you have a reason for being here.
You know the old wizard, kind of vague about everything.
See.
Some sort of job somewhere here. Although I must say, I'm glad the city is silver. Gold would be so tacky.
Oh, well, the city of gold actually collapsed under its own weight. Gold is not a very good load-bearing material, funny enough. It's one of the adjacent mountains. Anyway, it was a long time ago. So, let's see. The first group here, and he kind of like flips open a ledger, and it's like a big stone ledger with some paper on it, and he flips it over and looks around. It's almost like a clipboard. All right, so I think the group of you should go over to, and he kind of points over to there. see the mine caverns over to the east, and he kind of points. You can maybe see some opening caverns on the side of the huge cavern you're in. That's where the mines are. I think, what was his name? Bort needed some assistance. Bort Steeltoe.
Might as well see what he wants us to do.
All right, well, enjoy your time in Ag. And if you have any questions, feel free to... Well, I guess you're going to ask Bort, because you wouldn't be running all the way back here to ask me.
Are there any particular rules on flying in your caverns or things that I should be aware of?
Well, if you fly too high, the bats might get you, but... I mean, just be civil. Oh, no touching of the beard or mustache. Says, kind of stroking his long his long kind of graying dwarf beard.
I thought you might have meant me, in which case I'd assure you it's all body hair. I could be touched anywhere, really. I'm very fuzzy.
Well, that's fine. He kind of like goes to like roll up his sleeve and realizes, oh, I'm wearing armor. We're not fuzzy. Anyway, enjoy your. Actually, if you're looking for something for that body hair, you can always check out Silverblood Beard Company. They've got a couple places throughout the city. They're pretty good.
Thank you. If time allows, I shall take you up on that. It seems to be a custom here. I've seen many magnificent grooming.
Yeah, well, of course. I mean, we're dwarves. He kind of like, of course we have great beards. So anyway, I gotta get back up just in case anything comes by. And he kind of goes to climb back up into his guard post on the inside of the cavern. What would you all like to do? You're all just kind of standing right by the main thoroughfare. You want to head into the town, look around, or do you want to head straight over to the caverns, or what's the move?
I won't mind a slight detour towards the mine, just to like get a good glimpse of this town. First time here.
Okay. The rest of you? Or are y'all just heading with Billi?
Well, it'd be a
I'm going to be
shame
using
to
Watcher's
bother.
Eye to keep an eye out for criminal activity, or if I notice guards or some sort of authority, so I can make notes or even talk to them if I need.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So, Vaudius, you're keeping an eye out as you all kind of travel along with Billi here. And walking on the main thoroughfare, it is very busy. There are a lot of dwarves who live in this mountaintop city, going to and fro, doing their daily whatevers. There are many stands that are set up along the sides of the roads. It's a very wide roadway, enough for maybe 4 carts abreast, fairly sizable. What's really bizarre is most of the carts are made of stone, as well as most of the little stands set up on the side of the road. Must be a pain to haul everything out and set these up in the mornings, or maybe they just never go down. Stands are selling all sorts of things, from magically created foods to newspapers and what have you. But the big things that you notice that are very prevalent are people hawking wares for beard care products and people selling, well, liquor, drinks, beer, all sorts of things.
Do they have mead?
Oh, of course, absolutely.
I shall be sampling the wares.
Mm-hmm. Sure, you go over, you get yourself a mead from one of the dwarves that are hawking their wares. Is there anything in particular you're looking for, or do you just kind of ask for whatever?
Sampling the honeys. The food,
They
not the
do
other way.
have a honey mead. They tell you it's from the cave wasp. Are you still interested? I know that's kind of a little. You're a bee person.
Yes, I'd be very interested.
Oh, of course. I thought maybe it'd be a bit. Anyway, yeah. Let me. Any of your friends back there looking for some cave wasp meat?
Not me. If you could point me to the nearest person who sells anything like candy, I'll be more than happy.
Candy.
My personal
I know
fancy.
there's actually... Pardon, sir?
Go ahead. You go ahead, sir.
I was just going to say, there is, I think, just a few stalls down. If you take a right and then a left, Old Sally's. I know she freezes her beer and sells it like a popsicle. That's
That'll
kind
work.
of handy. Oh, yeah. And I'm sorry, you, Mr. Elf.
Well, my personal fancy has always been for rice-based concoctions. Sake, as they call it.
Unfortunately, we really don't have anything of that nature. Doesn't really grow up here. Apologies.
Understandable.
All right, so just one cave wasp, or... He kind of looks at you, Mr. Skeltal, and scratches his beard, as if thinking, should I offer the skeleton man mead, or would that be rude?
Well, I kind of noticed the puzzlement. I'm like, I'm afraid pretty much anything you'd have would just go right through me.
So you can't taste it at all.
So it would probably be a great waste of fine mead.
He gives you a look like, my poor friend, I feel so bad for you. And he goes and pours you a large mug of mead, Vaudius. There you go. That'll be 2 silver. And of course, you've got plenty of silver on you. And yeah, you have your mead. It is. Let's see how good this random street cave mead. It's not that great. It's probably a little. Actually, you might like it because it's a little under fermented, Vaudius. So it's got a lot of that honey taste still in it, and not as much of the mead taste. Kind of waxy. But I digress. You head along on your path. Billi, you're able to get a mead pops. Actually, it's not a mead, but it's an ale popsicle. And it's bad. Objectively. But yeah, if there's no other really distractions you're interested in.
Yeah, the other thing Billy B. Bonka would be doing is like trying to convince her to like try out some of his own wares.
Oh, I mean, are they free, or are you trying to sell them?
He's offering one. He's offering like one of each for free. Give her a taste, and if she's interested, she could probably sell them in her own shop. Business.
Yeah. All right. So you give this to this old Sally, and she goes, oh, and she also has a very long gray beard. She actually has an incredibly long gray beard. It kind of goes all the way down the ground and makes a little like beard heap of just kind of coiled up beard. Oh, what do you put in this little chocolate?
Oh, my dear. A candy maker never reveals his secret ingredient.
Well, I suppose it's quite good. Could you add some mead to it, do you think?
We could probably come up with a dwarven exclusive for yours and yours truly here. So, yes, I can see something like that happening.
Excellent. If you can come back this evening after we're closed, we can discuss this in more detail.
Indeed.
All right. You've made your deal with Sally and continue to head toward the mining caves. Terao, you in particular are heckled way more than anyone else. The peddlers really want to sell you their beer and enhancement products. They feel like, I know you get the idea, it's probably because as a half elf, do you have a beard?
I'm actually a full elf.
A high elf. My apologies.
And no, I've never been able to grow one.
And that's why they're like, oh, my poor elf, sir, come please, try it out. It'll grow you a beard in no time flat. And they're like, people just are trying. There's a lot of people trying to sell you stuff. do you ignore them for the most part? Or?
I'm not too interested in purchasing goods on the job.
So you politely decline, and they, don't bother you more than, the original question. But you move forward, and eventually you find yourselves entering into some caves on the eastern side of the city. These caves are large. They're probably 50 or 60 feet tall and very wide. They stretch for like 200 feet in diameter, and they just go down, and they kind of curve around deeper into the bowels of the mountain. And you can see there are some dwarves kind of standing around. A couple of them are guards. Vaudius, you've noticed there's a very large guard presence in the city. Dwarves wearing silver plate mail and emblazoned with the sigils of A and G, in Dwarven, the runes of the city of Ag. But yeah, as you approach, you see one dwarf in particular is tapping his foot, and it's making like ting, 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 ting kind of sound. You see he's got a big metal, it looks like a boot at first, but it's far too close-knit for a boot. And you realize it's like a silver prosthetic foot. And he keeps tapping his toe on the ground, tapping his foot on the ground. And he looks over and says, yo! And kind of patunk, 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 hobbles over toward you all. Hi, I am Bort Steeltoe. You're the adventurers I called for, right?
We're
That would
not
be
the
us.
exact ones you were expecting.
Pardon? I did ask for dwarves if he had them, but I'm sure you'll all do fine. I need your help. So, as I'm sure you're aware, it's getting toward winter here throughout the lands, and well, none of your dwarves, so you might not know this. Up here in the mountains, we actually hibernate for a few months. But anyway, I digress. We're having our kind of solstice holidays now instead of worrying about doing them later when we'll be sleeping, because it just gets too cold. And one of our kind of events that we always do at the end of every year, we have our mining contest to figure out which family is truly the best miners here in the city. It's a very prestigious title. It gives us grants to the greatest mining areas in the next mining season. And so, well, we want to win. He kind of taps his foot. We Steeltoes, we've been mining here for generations. And, well, I want to do my family proud. Especially since we're up against the Cheatybeard.
That's
They
quite a
don't
name.
seem... I'm already suspicious.
You know, I share your sentiment. The reason I went and got some outside help. Basically, in terms of how the mining competition works, there are no rules against it. You just have to be mining. Just good old, honest work. And so it's kind of hard. I can't even think of a way that could possibly cheat. But regardless, I still would like your assistance just to, well, help get things figured out.
I mean, I have heard of sabotage. Perhaps that could be a way of cheating.
I would hope not. Do any of you have any experience mining?
Mining, no. Minding my business, yes.
Mining like business. Good. That's a good one. That's close.
Maybe? Not that I can recall.
But a soft maybe. All right. That's something.
Not really.
I'm more of a builder than a miner, but I understand some of the basic structures because of the
This is
hive
good.
back home. Though I would like to see a list of the rules so that I can determine who is a cheater and that we are not on a cheating team, please.
Well, the key, you just have to do it yourself, is the rule. And as employees of House Steeltoe, you can officially, you can do it, you count. That's really it. I mean, that's all. You don't have to use pickaxes. You can use hammers or whatever.
And magic?
If you cast the magic yourself. No scrolls or any funny business, but...
I presume we can work as a team and give each other advice?
No, of course. Well, teams are limited to 10. But, I mean, really, I've got, me, 5 others, and, well, you...
Oh. That would be 10.
Well, exactly. That's what I'm figuring. I mean, if you see the Cheatybeards with more than 10 people at their mining station, well, that may be something to point out, but there isn't really a strict judge. It's just about who gets the best stuff, really.
Oh. Perhaps. And is there a point that we have to start from?
Yes, it's actually right down here. If you want, I can show you the way. And he kind of begins to head off. His toe kind of ka-tunk, and it's his foot. He should be steel foot, but maybe there's a long tradition of these steel toes hurting their feet and legs in some way. Anyway, you follow him down the cave a little bit, his foot clinking and clanking the whole way. And eventually, after some curving and moving around, and you got to get on a small lift that goes down a couple of 100 feet, you find yourself in a wide open cavern. And this is a very recently worked cavern. You can see that there are kind of supports that are actually made of wood here, as you commonly would find in a mine. And on the far end, you can see there's some veins of copper and coal that are visible in the walls, but no, nothing particularly nice. I mean, maybe you'd mistake the copper for something that, but there's not really a ton super visible. You see some dwarves with pickaxes kind of smacking away. Yeah, and he turns, all right, so this is basically where it's going to be. The competition's going to start in about a half an hour. When it does, basically, it's going to be our group, the Steeltoes, and the Cheatybeards. Whoever gets the most good stuff in that time wins.
Does better stuff count more?
It's kind of subjective. It's all decided by King Cragjaw Silverbeard. He's the king of Ag. But it's pretty obvious. I mean, you know what good stuff is, right? All right, silver's the best. Gold is pretty good. It's up there with silver. Platinum's it's fine. We like platinum. Copper is all right, it's better than nothing. Coal is, I mean, it's pretty dirty. We don't really like it that much, but I guess we'll take it. Gems and jewels are great, but we probably won't be finding many or any of those here. You get the gist of it?
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
All right. See, I knew you'd all get it.
Mr. Skeltal just kind of tries to take stock of the size of the tunnel.
Well, you're in a pretty sizable cavern. Right now, it's probably about 100 feet wide, maybe 150 feet long. And you can see that there are a few small tunnels that have been dug out already that go maybe 10 feet in or off in various places. And looking at it, you can tell that those are probably exploratory tunnels, nothing good over here. Oh, nothing good over here. Kind of like that, as they're searching for better deposit.
Vaudius, do you see anything up high that might be better than what we have down here?
I'll have to take a torch up, though it could be a possibility. I imagine most people would go for the low-lying, well, it's not fruit, but if you understand the metaphor, there might be some precious things up towards the top. I was cautioned of bats, however.
Oh, there shouldn't be any bats up here. I mean, or down here, rather. It's only in the large city cavern. I mean, that thing goes 1,000 feet over.
Very well. I can crawl along the walls and fly, and I'll do my best to investigate to see if I can find anything that would be extra most bestest special.
And do you have something handy that might be that you might be able to carry along with you for a light?
I can hold a
Just some
torch
sort of-
in one of my several hands.
And you look
And
around.
I just kind of, and I just find some discarded piece of rock and light it and hand it to Vaudius. Would this work?
Yes, this should be sufficient.
All right, so Vaudius, you're going to head up and explore the ceiling with the newfound rock light provided by Mr. Skeltal?
Yes.
Excellent. So
I have
about half an hour before the competition starts. And I'm sorry, you were saying, Terao?
Well, actually, I have a mechanical question, because this is my first time playing a wizard.
Sure, yeah.
Can I ritual cast spells that I have not prepared for the day?
Wizards can. Yes.
Okay.
No other class can do that, but wizards can. So if a wizard has a spell in their spell book, even if you don't have it prepared, you can still ritual cast. Great question. They are like the weird exception to all the ritual casting.
Wizards are weird in general.
I mean, they're weird, but in like a fun way. I think so. Anyway.
I'm gonna wait till like the tail end of the half hour and cast, ritual cast Unseen Servant.
Oh, okay.
But of course, I'm willing to help anyone else that needs help with anything they're doing. I just can't think of any other preparations to make.
Can you make multiple Unseen Servants?
I don't know.
I'm not sure either. Because it lasts for an hour. Oh, I see. You can only command it as a bonus action, so you can only command one at a time. Well, but it would continue to do the task.
If you'd permit it, I would ritual summon
if you
3
wanted
Unseen
to,
Servants.
You totally could conjure a couple. It doesn't say anything in the spell about you not being able to. So if that's something you want to do, if that's your strat, I mean, I'm down.
That is my strategy.
Okay, cool. And does anyone else? So I guess my brain just crapped out right there. Billi B. Bonka and Mr. Skeltal. As Vaudius, I assume that you're going to spend your half hour looking for special hidden things up in the ceiling? Or did you have something else you wanted to do during that half hour?
It's so the other team is in here as well.
Yeah, they are.
All right. Are they all dwarves?
You could spend some time investigating them if you want. I could let if you wanted to do like part of your time looking at the ceiling and part of the time investigating them, that'd be fine.
Sure. With Watcher's Eye, per your your discretion here, your experience in enforcing law and dealing with lawbreakers gives you a feel for local laws and criminals. So while I'm investigating, if I happen to be investigating in a part where the Cheatybeards are, and I'm getting that vibe like, hey, yeah, we're really gonna get them, or that I'm getting that suspicion, or maybe I overhear something. I would like to I'd like to make my way over there to while I'm looking for good sparkles and shinies.
Yeah, I mean they absolutely have that vibe of like like evil kind of look to them.
Okay.
They look like the kind of people that would cheat in a mining contest. But yeah, and they're all dwarves. I mean, that's something you can all just tell. Everyone but you here are dwarves. We'll get to that in just a minute. I just want to get an idea for what everyone's doing before I resolve everyone's individual.
So Billi Bonka will ritual cast detect magic, and after it's done, he'll probably go towards the Cheatybeards and size them up while having that detect magic up.
Absolutely. So you want to size up the Cheatybeards with Vaudius then? Maybe Vaudius being a little more discreet.
Both size them up and with detect magic, see if they have any sort of enhancement on them.
Okay. And same question, I guess, now to you, Mr. Skeltal. What would you like to do?
Mr. Skeltal is investigating up high. Mr. Skeltal is looking around down here below to see if there is something that he can find as a good starting spot.
Ah, excellent. So you're looking for a good starting location. I dig it.
I think we all are going to dig it, but whatever.
Okay, so let's start with you then, Mr. Skeltal. Mr. Skeltal, as you're like looking around, you don't know anything about mining, do you? Or maybe do you? Do you have any proficiencies that you think might help in like looking for a good place to like start mining?
No.
Nothing? No nature? No. I mean, you can. I'll be square here. I will roll with anything if you can lawyer it to me and say, well, you see, I'm going to use a chisel and a little dustpan to get some scrapings and then investigate them with my investigation for little bits of silver. Like that, you can do that. That's totally fine. Feel free to just, make something up and tell me, well, this is one. And I'll probably buy it, unless it's too crazy.
Well, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to, like, intimidate the stone into giving me something good or anything like that.
You can intimidate some of the other dwarves around and telling you what they know. If you wanted to.
I mean, I prefer to try to persuade some of the Steeltoes dwarves rather than dealing with the deceptive, sneaky Cheatybeards. And try to persuade them to help come through and find the best locations that perhaps haven't been explored yet.
Well, I mean, so there are more dwarves down here than just the Cheatybeards and Steeltoes. But yeah, I'm sure you could do that. Go ahead and roll me a persuasion check, because you kind of like are asking around, trying to be like, so you know any, you're in a good spot. And is there anything else that you're doing to like, oh my goodness? So are you like being like, hey, I'm a famous adventurer. If you want, I could like, get you some drinks after this. Maybe you could tell me some cool mining spots you might know. Or is that kind of the direction you're going? Or is this more of a like, I'm intellectually interested in this. Please teach me because you're very smart, dwarves.
Yes, more of the please teach me so that I can.
Excellent.
So that I can be the best mining skeleton music man I can be.
Excellent. So I think you're going around and every dwarf wants to be told that they're like great at mining, and they're, yeah, I'm kind of original myself. We've been mining the southern wall for most of last year. I think we've run that one just about dry. Really, we've tapped it pretty clear. But I've heard that the Underhills have been doing pretty good over on the western. And like there's some kind of conversation like that. And one of them is like, oh, the Underhills are full of crap. They're halflings in disguise anyway. And they kind of just are rambling around. But I think with an 18, you're definitely able to pick out there's a spot on like the northwest wall that pretty much has not been touched by anyone. And that's as good a bet as any, is your kind of takeaway. Meanwhile, Vaudius, you're looking around on the ceiling. You're giving it a cursory glance because you also want to investigate those other guys. Can you roll me an investigation check? Or do you have another skill that you'd like to like bring to the table and say, well... Vaudius?
Yep. I mean, I could just do a perception to look around. I'm in this uncommon area. A lot of what they've described as precious should just stand out, right? It would reflect light, as a nice metal or a gem of some kind. I'm in a dark tunnel surrounded by dark stone, so I reckon I could just buzz around and try and follow things. And if necessary, I have an indigenous climb speed as well. So even if I'm not flying, I could just sort of, I'm a bee. I'll just crawl on the walls and ceiling, like touch things, maybe feel for inconsistencies. That sort of stuff.
Yeah, can you go ahead and roll me a perception then, as you're looking around and feeling around like, all right, what doesn't quite feel right? Because it's very dirty in here. So I imagine a lot of this is actually by feel, right? Like, all right, this is smooth, not rough. Unfortunately, as you're looking around and you're trying your best, you can only really find what looks like a small deposit of quartz on the ceiling. At least you think it's quartz. It's clear. It's really hard, but it's way too large, you think, to be diamond. So, I mean, that's probably worth something.
Okay. In crawling around up there, have I gotten sufficiently dirty that maybe a lot of my yellows have been suppressed, and I'm covered in like dirt and coal dust and other things that really would dampen my appearance?
I mean, if you'd like to, sure.
I'm not against it.
Well, I guess maybe
yes.
Maybe you are.
Then maybe I am.
You're a dirty boy.
Oh my. Okay, yeah, I'll report on the quartz, and I will notice my dampened self, and if necessary, later on, if I got to do a little sneaky sneak, then maybe I'll be able to blend in a little bit.
Yeah.
I would like to familiarize myself with if there are any more rules that were brought up beyond the summary, such as, if we catch someone cheating, or what if I'm getting that vibe, and we would win if the other team is eliminated. So if it came to it, if there's not a judge, I might be able to be a judge, because that's sort of my disposition.
Yeah, the rules are pretty sparse. This is a very much it's not like an official tradition in like the written kind of way. It's more of this is a thing that we do every year. The king comes down and watches and judges it. If the king sees something
like
that he thinks
a gentle dwarf agreement betwing the two. We're not going to be cheating, but at the same time, we really
fights
can.
Have broken out in the past, and unless there's obvious malice, people don't get like disqualified. But fights will get broken up if they happen. Yeah, you generally don't kill people here, but dwarves have been bludgeoned down unconscious in the past. So
okay, all right.
Yeah, you're not gonna get knocked. You're not gonna get kicked out just for like throwing a fist or something. But if you like run someone through and divine smite them and they explode, that's a different story.
Okay.
And yeah, so you're also looking into you and Billi B. Bonka are both looking into these Cheatybeards. And you see, unlike you guys, the Cheatybeards are really taking it easy. They're just kind of like, some light stretches. We got this one in the bag, huh, boss? Yeah, I think we do. That old Steeltoes behind the times. He doesn't have a chance. Not with our secret weapon. And, they're just kind of mumbling to each other and just kind of like general evil chuckling. For the most part, though, they seem to just have pickaxes, normal old pickaxes, and a gigantic crate. Just a really big crate. It's like 10 feet tall, 15 feet wide. Just a big crate.
And Billi Bonka's like detect magic has nothing coming from that.
Yeah, let's see, what does detect magic say? Let's read what it says. For the duration, you sense the presence of magic within 30 feet of you. If you sense magic in this way, you can use your action to see a faint aura. The spell can penetrate most barriers, but is blocked by 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, a thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood or dirt. So you can see that the box, the huge crate, not magical. No magic coming from there. But their pickaxes are definitely magical. Now they might just be magic pickaxes, but there's some sort of magical aura coming from them, and that aura is I'm pretty sure let me see. Conjuration, maybe? It's a transmutation aura coming from them.
Yeah, Billi B. Bonka will actually go up and converse with him a little bit. Says, well, hello, gentlemen. How are you
these
doing?
dwarves are like, yeah. And then you come on, boss, what are you doing here? Tall, skeleton, chocolate guy?
Oh, I got hired by that steel. What's the name? The steel heel fella. Of course,
double your pay to come work for us.
that is quite an interesting offer, though. Maybe we can exchange a little bit of a trade here, because I have got some recent information before coming into this cavern. Something about
Raises an eyebrow toward you. Go on.
yeah, something about a untouched silver vein.
Rolls his eyes. Yeah, right. All right. Look, I don't have time. We're gonna start in about 5 minutes, and I'll tell you, you don't stand a chance. So if you don't want to be walking out of here drowning in shame, you should just come work for us.
I was hoping to exchange that information to give you a little bit of a heads up, but considering you're not interested, I guess I could just walk over there and go back to work with you.
Work for our competition.
Yes, but that doesn't mean I'm loyal to them. Hmm?
Then come work for us. I'll
But
pay you twice. I don't understand.
The thing is, here's the thing. If I work for you, that will give away that I'm betraying them, and
That's
it's
fine.
bad for business.
Betrayal stings.
But yeah, it stings, but it's also bad for business. They're also paying me, so if I just blatantly work for you, I lose that pay.
That's why I'm paying. I'm gonna offer to pay you twice what he's paying.
But that's also. But here's the thing.
But Dwarf looking at you like, I don't get what you're getting at, man. I'm offering you a good deal.
Yes, but the thing is, just blatantly working for you means I lose that pay. But if I work for you secretly, I get that pay and get your pay. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that doesn't help me.
Oh, it does, because if I'm secretly working for you, well,
what are you offering?
That information on that silver vein, I got it from I've heard it from Bartholomew himself. After he talked to King, what was his name? Cragjaw, Silver Crag, something like that.
They kind of like mutter to each other. Go on. Meanwhile, Vaudius, you can see that your former ally, Billi Bonka, is a defector and seems to be working against it. Or maybe he's got an elaborate plan. You can decide. Roll me a deception check, Billi.
All right, 1 second. Because I'm not very good at that, but.
Oh. And Vaudius, can you roll me an insight check with advantage? Because this is your ally.
Okay.
All right, yeah, you can tell that he's just trying to fool these dwarves. And let me roll for the Cheatybeards. Gonna roll an insight check. He's gonna roll with advantage because he's not buying your story. Yeah, he's looking at you. Well, tell me about yourself.
Oh well, I tried to work with you, but I guess that Steel Hill fellow will earn a little bit more than you will this day, and it's just because you decided to take that walk away. Till we win. See ya. And Billi Bonka will just walk back over there to the steel.
They look at each other. I was offering him twice what he was. What more am I supposed to do, boys? And the other was like, I don't know, boss. So as you guys move back over toward the start of the thing, Terao, you have conjured 3 unseen servants which stand by awaiting your orders. And I imagine, Mr. Skeltal, you've already talked to Bort and mentioned this is the spot right here. And Bort's like, oh yeah, that seems like a pretty good spot.
Yeah.
Gosh, I can't believe I missed this. I just assumed with a support beam in the way that.
Yeah, Billi Bonka would return and tell him like about the pickaxes.
Well, I don't know. I mean, magical pickaxes, nothing wrong with that. Nothing.
Yeah, true, but they seem conjured in a way.
Huh. Can we prove it? Can we prove something? That they...
Do you know anyone who could dispel such magic?
No, I'm a humble miner. And Terao, are you just like getting your? What are you doing with your unseen servants? As like you're getting ready for the thing.
I will be instructing them to stay close, but to carefully inspect the walls, kind of prospect on the walls as we go, and let me know if they encounter anything interesting.
I got you. So just extra sets of eyes, basically.
Yes.
I dig it. So as you all are kind of gathered around, and Bort's like, all right, it's nearly... You hear an echoing voice coming from the entrance to the cavern, and looking back, you can see there's a dwarf walking in. He's wearing a kind of silver crown with a big sapphire set in the front of it. No other real jewels, though. He wears a silver cape with some kind of light gold trimming around the neck. Other than that, he looks just kind of like most of the other dwarves here. He's not dressed too fancily. Just, all right, everyone. I am King Crowjaw Silverbeard, and today is going to be the start of our annual mining competition. Steeltoes kind of nods to Bort, and Bort bows lightly back. My liege, kind of Cheatybeard, and the Cheatybeards just kind of go and shrug at him. Well, you well know the rules. No cheating, and get the best stuff. You have 30 minutes, and our competition begins in 3, 2, 1, and he kind of raises up a hand. Go! And as soon as he does that, you see the Cheatybeards go, kind of like start to stretch and like not really get too far into it. But Bort goes, all right, time to go. And he and the other Steeltoes run over and just start smashing at the walls with their pickaxe.
And Billi B. Bonka will start this up by casting Hold Person on whoever's closest to that crate.
Oh my god! Pardon?
I'm casting Hold Person on the closest person of the Cheatybeards to that crate.
Okay. All right. So that's what you're doing. Excellent. Everyone else?
I am going to run over...
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, maybe we should roll for initiative. That way we have a defined order here.
That sounds like a plan.
We're using initiative, not in a combat sense. Okay. So the way we're just going to roll for the Cheatybeards. Bam! Alright, so you guys are all going to go beforehand. So Vaudius, you're the first to roll here. What would you like to do?
The quartz that I found is it kind of clear, translucent?
It would be, you think, if you could get it out of the ceiling, but it's kind of embedded in the ceiling a little bit, right toward the middle of the chamber. You can see why it was missed.
Okay. What I would like to do is turn to Terao. Terao, I'd appreciate the use of your light once more. Would you allow me to carry you to the top? I would like you to cast light upon this bit of quartz. Perhaps it might shed more light elsewhere, and perhaps even show just how much mineral lies in the ceiling if we can see through it and it's illuminated.
I can understand the confusion, but I'm actually not the one that knows the light magic. That would be the bard with us.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mr. Skeltal's just right next to you waving.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I mean, I don't know how you would rule. I don't know how you would rule this. Yeah, like, does he even need to take all of me?
All of you. Yes, I think he does.
Okay.
We didn't give our skeletons the ability to take themselves apart, did we? I don't think we did. So yes, he
I don't think it's really addressed either way. So yes. But yes, I will. I mean,
Skeltal, grab my body fuzz. Away.
And I'm just, and let's see, let me just make sure that I, yep, just an action. Okay.
It's your turn, Mr. Skeltal, as Vaudius flies you up to this, at first you didn't even see it, this deposit of quartz.
Yeah, so I'll go up, and I will get up there, and I will be holding on as best I can, and I will cast light on the...
All right.
Yes, I will cast light upon the quartz.
You cast the light upon the quartz, and as the light flows through it, you can see it goes in a little ways. It's partially transparent with the light. You can see that there's maybe like 6 inches of quartz embedded in there. Be it a like football-sized chunk. Probably worth something, but not the mother lode, unfortunately. Is there anything else you'd like to do as you have investigated this quartz more?
No, the other thing that I was thinking of doing would also be an action. So, unfortunately, it will have to wait as I cling on to Vaudius for a few more seconds.
Excellent. Terao, it's your move.
Well,
the dwarves are riding away.
I'm probably not going to be doing much good swinging a pickaxe anyways, so I'll be moving forward as a scout and doing my best to locate any new deposits.
Excellent. Yeah, the dwarves are mining fast. Surprise! They're ripping into this wall. Okay, you want to roll me an investigation check, or maybe a nature check, or something like that? Or even a perception probably would be okay.
I'll go with investigation.
Sure. Yeah, you're like peeking around. You're like, here we go. There's some gold, and they're like, it's pretty good. And they mine over there. Go, and here is a little ruby. You can just kind of pluck it out yourself. Maybe put it in a pocket for later.
And I will have one of my servants flag down one of the dwarves to bring them over to this deposit I've found.
Absolutely. So you've got your servants coordinating with everything. And actually,
Yes.
I would say in the future, you can roll advantage because you've got your servants also looking for stuff with you. This is a very kind of abstracted thing here. Billi, you start immediately by hold personing one of the other. You can see that they haven't like gotten to work yet. They're like just still stretching, being real cocky about it. Do you still want to hold them with your spell?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Actually, wait. They said we wait. Question. The rules said that we just can't cheat, and they're just pretty much we cannot. Everything we have to do ourselves, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like,
the crate. Did it have a lock on it?
no, it does not.
All right. Would it be considered like a? In any way, would it be considered like a closed chest, or like would it be considered?
For what purpose?
For the purpose of arcane lock.
Is that an action?
It
You
would
can
be-
cast an arcane lock if you'd like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Billy Bonka would just go up, like pretty much first past them and like touch the crate. It just hit arcane.
You run over, like, what are you doing?
Oh, taking care of this secret weapon, and just runs off.
The chief is like, what's going on? Look at this guy, he's cheating. And Kragner's like, huh? And let's see, was Kragjaw paying any attention? Right, sorry, I wasn't looking. Wait. And you start running back, like, wee, wee, wee. And you can see there's like this arcane glow all over the crate now. They're like, what is this? And they're getting pretty annoyed. The Cheatybeards are going to be like, all right, fine, let's get our stuff going. And you see a couple of them like walk over lazily toward the wall and just kind of hold out their arms. And then their arms just begin to swing as if, but they're not like putting any force into it, and they don't look like they're exerting any effort. But the pickaxes are swinging really fast and really hard into the wall, almost as though on their own volition. Daggle Cheatybeard, who's the leader of the Cheatybeards, goes over to the crate. Huh. All right. He goes over to the side, and goes to like pry it open. And what's the DC for this thing? The DC increases by 10. Okay, so he's gonna roll an athletics check as he takes his crowbar, got advantage on it, goes to pry it open. This is gonna be a very hard DC for him. Nope. All right, boys, I may need some help here. And that's all the Cheatybeards are doing. They're going pretty quick. Their pickaxe is magically powered. Vaudius, it's your move again. You're in the air holding Mr. Skeltal.
Could I have carried a pickaxe in one of my off hands?
Absolutely.
Okay. Mr. Skeltal, if you don't mind, I'd like to contribute some to the mineral collection. And if I can take a couple swings to harvest this glowing quartz, I'd like to do so before descending. Or actually, Mr. Skeltal, do you wish to look at any place or to be set down anywhere?
Oh, no, there's nothing, nowhere particular that I'd like to, that I know of, unless you found anything else up high.
I didn't. That doesn't mean that there's not more here, but I have no further intel regarding the location of precious objects. If you have a way to detect along the ceiling, then perhaps we can work together in this regard.
Yes, I mean, I can use what eyes. No, well, I guess I don't really have eyes, but if you'll excuse the idea, I can try to see if there's anything. But the best I know is down where they're digging, and I kind of point back to that towards the northwest corner.
If that's where you'd like to go, I shall set you down there.
All right. Well, Vaudius, go ahead and make an athletics check, I guess, as you smack away with your pickaxe at this quartz. Ooh, and an expert you are at this. As you swing with the pickaxe, it like gets caught up under the quartz a little bit on the side. It seems like it was just some like loose, rough hole around. And as you kind of stick it in, you kind of kick it with your foot, and it goes all the way and pry it out. And the little piece or the football-sized chunk of quartz begin to collapse. Do you just? I assume you catch it with your hands.
I prefer to.
Yeah, absolutely. With one of your offhands that isn't carrying your friend, you catch this football-sized chunk of quartz, and you got it. And that's the list of things you have. Football-sized quartz. All right, and then you head down and drop off Mr. Skeltal. Mr. Skeltal, you're dropped off right by the mining area. What would you like to do? You see the Steeltoes are hard at work, and you see the Cheatybeards really taking it easy as their pickaxes do all the work. What would you like to do?
Let's see. Let's see. How far do the Cheatybeards seem to be?
The Cheatybeards are a little behind, but they're catching up pretty quick with their automatic pickaxe.
Okay, so they're relatively close.
Yeah, and I'm kind of abstracting these rounds over some time. It's not like they're all at once.
Okay. So I'm going to. I would like. So if I were to hit one, if I were to say hit one of them with a ray of enfeeblement, I know it's not in the rules as written of the spell, but would it have effect on the ability to open up this crate?
Oh, I think it would. Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I'm going to try to hit one of these. You're gonna
shoot the leader, Daggle.
I'm gonna shoot Daggle with a ray of enfeeblement.
Alrighty, go ahead and make an attack roll then, or is it an attack roll spell?
Let's see.
I think it's got an attack component and a save component. It's one of those weird spells.
Yes, it's an attack roll, and then they can try to save to end the effect.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. You just have to hit them. Excellent.
Yeah.
So go ahead and make your attack as you shoot him with a ray of enfeeblement.
A 20.
That'll hit him, considering he's just kind of wearing some, leather armor and stuff. I mean, armor is not even really the right term. Go ahead and do your damage for the spell. Does it do
There
damage?
is no damage to it.
Oh, really? It just weakens him.
Yes, it just enfeebles him.
Excellent. So you hit him and you just, what is this? Vile magic is like a dark beam of energy shoots from your hand.
No, it shoots out of the saxophone.
Oh, it's just so you just, and it strikes him.
Yes.
All right, as you do that, you see Cragjaw Silverbeard, the king of Ag, over the side goes, hey, wait a minute. Cut that out. That's cheating, I think, probably. Don't do that. Bad. Looking at you, like waggling a finger. That's all he does, though. But your Raven Feebleman appears to have taken hold against Dag. It was like, I feel so weak. Terao, are you going to continue to just search for precious things here? Or is there anything else you'd like to do?
Well, scouting and prospecting does seem to be the most optimal course of action here.
Sure.
Let's see.
Oh, yeah. You're looking around and you're like, ha! Silver. As one of your unseen servants like calls you over and you go over and you're like, you lick it. Very sanitary. Must be silver. You can just taste the dust that's settled on this vein. It's just not gross like the other dust. It just tastes dusty. And you have found a silver vein. And the dwarves go, yeah, perfect. And they all move over there and start mining away. And there's like dust and chunks of rock and stuff flying past them at you. Is there anything else that you'd like to do, Terao?
I can't think of anything.
All right. So you're still coordinating with your servants, and I imagine you and your servants, you're collecting all the stuff you've got in like a big heap.
Oh, yes, yes.
Excellent. Billi, what would you like to do? As you see, there are currently 3 Cheatybeards with pickaxes that are grinding away, and there are 2 of them that are going over to help Daggle, who's weakly trying to open the crate.
How far is King Cragjaw from me? I mean, like, is he looking in my direction?
Yeah, he's looking right at you guys right now because he just noticed Mr. Skeltal cast horrible black magic at this other dwarf.
All right, in that case, Billy Bonka will scream, look at that huge vein of silver! And then when Cragjaw turns around, he's going to cast this on the 3
You're trying to sleep. Oh no. Roll me a deception check.
Give me a second.
Cragjaw goes, wait a minute. And he looks back around right as you're like, whoa, casting stuff. And it affects the other dwarves who just all collapse, those 3 dwarves with pickaxes. And he goes, that's definitely cheating.
Wait,
again,
the question is, would those pickaxes still be swinging if they are all knocked out?
Actually, let me see how much health they each have. I think that still KOs all of them. Oh no, that only KOs 2 of them. So 2 of them collapse. And their pickaxes just start flying around randomly, just attacking people. And it starts to become changed.
I would point out to Cragjaw and says, that's cheating. What would you call that?
He's walking right up toward you. Hey, I don't want to see any more of that funny business, all right? This is a good, honest game. And
I'll go, honest? And I just actually point towards the Cheatybeards with their...
I don't want any more of your tricks. I just saw you.
That is not my trick. My trick was just making sure they don't cheat by putting them to sleep.
That looks like cheating to me. And he's like looking at you, and he's pretty unhappy with you.
Yeah, I'll just like bounce. I guess I'll be unhappy too if I discover that the person who was preventing people from cheating was considered cheating, and that cheating is bad and cheating was change. He's just trying to confuse.
And as you're like having this argument with them. You can see that in the background, the flying pickaxes are just attacking the dwarves who are on the ground, who have now woken up and are running away, fleeing from their pickaxes. The one who still has pickaxe is like, boss, we don't have time for this. And you can see behind you in the over the Cheatybeard base, Daggle Cheatybeard is he's like very weak, and his arms are like very frail and sallow. His face is kind of sunken from the spell, and he's like, I don't have time for this. And he kind of like knocks weakly in the cart. Guys, just start it. Just mine through the box. And you hear a sound begin to echo behind you. And at first it doesn't sound like really much of anything. And then it gets louder, and you just hear like a grinding sound, and a giant drill with a dwarf manning it comes just grinding through the box and begins to drive forward as these dwarfs drive this giant drill tank toward the side. All right. Cragjaw doesn't notice because Cragjaw's looking at you like, anyway, I'm not going to fall for any of your tricks anymore. I don't want to see any more funny business out of the Steeltoes side. Vaudius, is your move.
All right. Well, I've set down Mr. Skeltal. I see this happening. As far as I'm aware, I mean, this is the king of the dwarves who's down here. I am confident he knows what to look for that's cheaty. I still want to participate as I haven't, I don't know, I have this spirit of competition, and I'm one to abide by the rules. What I would like to do is I have silvered vulnerability being an entothrope.
Oh, whoa.
And I would like to use this vulnerability, this perhaps this tingly, stingy sensation I get near silver, to find a load of silver as I'm flying around.
Excellent. I love that. That's a very cool. So, I imagine you cut your hand a little bit, swinging the pickaxe and getting the quartz out, and you can just feel that kind of like stinging sensation of little silver particles on that little cut. And as you're flying around and getting a groove for it, I'd like you to roll me a Constitution saving throw. I think that's what you'd roll for this. That sound about right to you, Maddie, or did you have another idea?
Well, I don't know if it would be done through perception or insight, because I'm following a kind of a tingle or a feeling. I don't mind making a con save, but I think to reach my senses out and.
I think insight is more of for people reading people, but I think you can absolutely roll with perception. That makes perfect sense to me.
Okay.
As you're like, come on, pain, and it stings here. It stings here, and sure enough, there is another little vein of silver there. I'm gonna add a second vein of silver to your list. As you just call it out.
Am I flying on the cavern of the roof, or where am I in regards to that?
It's probably a little ways up on like the side of the cavern, near where where you're already mining.
Okay. Yes, I'll call it down. Silver here? Silver? Does anyone need a ride up?
Yeah, and of course a couple of the dwarves go, carry me! But don't tell anyone. And you go and pick them up, and they're like, all right, you don't tell anyone about this, as you're just grabbing them by the kind of scruffs of their necks and pulling them up in the air, or the back of their coats, and they start mining away.
Okay, and what I will do as well, as I am a newly minted mastermind, I can use a bonus action to give the help action to someone. And so I would like to help this dwarf more efficiently mine the silver that I found.
Alrighty, I dig that. We haven't really been rolling for them.
Just a consideration is I have kind of a freebie help action.
Yeah. So. It might be better spent trying to help one of your other allies, because the dwarves are just gonna mine silver.
Well, I don't know what any of them are doing, so in that case, I guess
Billi is getting yelled at by the king dwarf.
Okay, if Billi needs some help in this situation, especially if it's to turn the king's head somewhere, I'm gonna shout down, Billi, I could use your attention here, King, please, I need your eyes elsewhere, and I will use my bonus action help on Billi for whatever next attack or skill.
Yep, and of course your call out of silver definitely got some attention. Excellent, Vaudius. Mr. Skeltal? And you can see, all of you can see, there's the large, like, mining tank that's now driving toward the wall.
So I'm going to get up closer to this mining tank and use an unseen servant of my own and command it to turn that off.
Well, you can see that there's like a dwarf that's like manning it right now, and so that'll probably work once, if it just kind of like hits the off button and the dwarf goes, what happens? Hits the on button again and then it grinds back up. That was weird. You probably delay it a turn with that if you'd like.
And I'm just like trying to keep as close to it as I can and be like and just again and again, and like trying to make it seem like there's a gremlin, keep some sort of thing that's not quite working right with it.
Yeah,
that could cause them to have to spend a while hunting down a problem that is not really very visible.
Yeah, it's weird because it is physical, but it's not visible.
Yes.
I'm gonna roll a perception check for the Cheatybeard that's currently driving the tank. Oh boy. So he immediately like realizes what's going on. And it's like, oh, they've created a servant. And actually, I do need to roll a perception check for Cragjaw, who's currently yelling at Billi. He does not see your spell, thankfully.
I mean, I'm just going around playing more music, so...
Oh, of course.
Because it's also coming out of the saxophone.
I just... and then the spirit just kind of like, whoop. Okay.
Yep.
Beautiful. So you're turning it off, and the guard is just... and he's like swatting at the air, trying to like get your servant out of the way. But you stopped the tank for at least one round. Terao, what would you like to do?
If I recall correctly, there's two animated pickaxes just swinging themselves around aimlessly right now.
Well, right now they're chasing the other two Cheatybeard guards who are running away.
Could I send one or two of my unseen servants to try and get those pickaxes?
To try and wrestle them?
Yeah, they steal the pickaxes.
Yeah, roll me a contested Arcana check. It's your, or maybe not Arcana, whatever your, well, actually it is Arcana for your spell casting ability modifier. Roll that, I will contest it by actually we'll probably just make it a DC, right? Because it's basically based on the level of the enchantment. Which is a... Ooh, it's pretty high. It's going to be a DC 15. All right, so one of yours is able to wrangle one. Go ahead and roll me a second Arcana for the second, sir. Oh, you wrangle them both. Your servants just kind of like float through the air, the ephemeral being of their unseen kind of forms. And despite their measly 10 pounds of grapple strength, you're able to kind of co-opt this loose enchantment into the hands of your unseen spirits, which can't control the pickaxes, but can like move them, kind of guide them a little bit. What would you like them to do? What would you like them to do? You've got them.
I want to move both of the pickaxes behind... What is the referee's name currently? Or what is his name again?
Well, there's not a referee, sort of. There's the King Cragjaw Silverbeard. He's the king of the dwarves.
I simply want them to bring the two pickaxes behind King Cragjaw and then let go of the pickaxes.
You're gonna assassinate King Crackjaw.
Not really assassinate him. I would hope that he can. He'll just notice that there's
Sure, yeah, no, I gotcha.
uncontrolled pickaxes running around.
Okay, excellent. Billy, what would you like to do if you see the pickaxe suddenly stop changing the dwarves and move over and start to come for King Crackjaw?
I
Just like sharks. Dun, 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 dun.
I want to attempt to like push King Crackjaw out of the way. Says, "Look out, rogue pickaxes!" and jump in the way.
Get down. Okay. So you're gonna just leap in front of the pickaxes?
Pretty much.
All right. All right. Oh boy. All right. You just take the hits then as they're attacking, as they're swinging at you. Oh boy. Here we go.
I'm beginning to suspect I may have made a mistake.
Well, who knows? Billy, you take 1 pickaxe for 8 piercing damage. Oh, I see you using shield. I gotcha. All right. And a 2nd pickaxe for 16.
Let's see. I already have mage armor up, like, as always, so that would be 13.
All right, so you
14,
actually managed to
19,
block
yeah.
both of them. It's just as you standing forward, and Crowder goes, and he falls backwards. Assassins! The Cheatybeards have gone too far this time.
I was trying to tell you.
Holy shit, is that a tank? That's definitely cheating. And now for the first time sees the tank and is wide-eyed.
Also, now can I say it's my turn now? I guess.
Yes, I thought that was your turn there, right? Was to do that?
That was a reaction.
Well.
Oh yeah, pushing him out of the way. I guess.
Yeah.
Reaction.
Actually, I still would like you to roll me a persuasion check. I'm going to give you advantage, because I think there's a chance he thinks you were trying to kill him and push you into them. But I think you managed to spin it the right way.
Not to mention, I already have a help action from Vala.
Exactly. And you're, my goodness, they've been cheating the whole time. Guards, arrest them! And the guard's like, I'm not going anywhere near that tank. King, we need to get you out of here. And they start to gather around the king, the king's guards, who've been watching this whole thing, but just not really saying anything. All right. Vaudius, it's your move. You see King Crackjaw has called out the Cheatybeards as cheaters, and right now is just trying to figure out who's going to stop the tank.
Well, the wheels of justice are turning. I'm satisfied. I'm still holding a dwarf up to the side of the cavern, though, right?
Oh, that dwarf has obliterated the cavern side. He's already cleared out that. He's like, all right, let me down. We're good.
Hold on. If I find more silver, are you willing to chip it loose?
Yeah, of course.
Just because the other team was eliminated for cheating doesn't mean that we can't win for succeeding as well.
That's true.
If you're in this with me, we'll do this together.
He gives you a nod. Fly me.
Fly
and
with me.
You're gonna look for more silver? Oh yeah. You're looking around. No, seems like it's pretty tapped right. Well, actually, you've got this dwarf helping you. So I'm gonna say you had advantage for that. We're gonna call it that 23. And he goes, wait a minute, it's right there. And you can see up where you had that quartz where you'd pulled it out earlier, just behind it, there was silver back there.
Oh.
That must have been what hurt you so much when you got the quartz out in the first place. And so you fly this dwarf up. Huh?
I did feel a tingle.
And he's like, I can't quite reach. It's kind of hard from this angle. Would you like to do anything to try and help this dwarf out? Do you want to what you want to do, Vaudius?
I could make an athletics. I could instead use. I know you said that they're kind of like on standby as like passive NPCs. They're in an anime. They're like the outlined white, blank characters in the background. Though this one, because we've sort of formed an alliance, I could give him my bonus action assistance and even try and chip or position him in an advantageous way. Like if he needs to be at a certain angle, I could try and hold him flying in a certain angle. something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's on the ceiling, so you're gonna have to hold him like up above you.
Okay. Athletics.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And then you're also gonna use your bonus action to help him out. Oh yeah, you're holding him up. He's like, alrighty, yeah. And he's going to swing with his pickaxe.
Swing, my friend.
And
drive home victory.
Unfortunately, the only role I have for this is Bort. I don't actually have Bort's guards. Bort, oh man. Gosh, of course I roll it accidentally to GM. Bort swings with his pickaxe. All right, and does, actually he should have advantage on this because of your thing. All right, a 17, he slices up the pickaxe and smashes out a big chunk of the silver. And it begins to just kind of rain down upon you little pieces of silver. They burn pretty badly. But
keep going. I'm good. I'm good.
All right. He keeps swinging. Mr. Skeltal, what would you like to do? You see that the dwarf on top of has kind of gotten out of the seat of the tank and has drawn his warhammer, and he looks like he's about to, actually his pickaxe, looks like he's gonna go to town and attack your unseen servant.
Can I assume that I'm able to get, like, right up kind of next to it?
Yeah, at this point, the guards, like, they want to go and arrest the Cheatybeards, but they kind of are afraid of the tank.
And I kind of turn to the king. Is it all right if he gets a little hurt as I try to disable this tank and point at the Cheatybeard who's getting ready to swing his pickaxe around?
I mean, are you going to stab him through and then blow him up with a divine smite?
Not stab him through. Maybe some minor blowing up, but not divine smite.
That was a specific example I gave about what you shouldn't do. So I guess as long as you're not going to do that, I'm fine with it.
And I am going to kind of into the tank dwarf area send a thunder wave.
Oh god, you're just gonna run over, blast it. This is actually incredibly important because you're hitting the tank too.
Yes.
All right, so we're gonna roll for the drill, and we're gonna roll for the Cheatybeard guard. Cheatybeard guard is gonna get and it's a Constitution save. Oh, 17. He resists it, taking only half damage. Seems kind of beat, but like more or less still okay. The drill, however, barely doesn't flip over, but does get blasted pretty badly. It seems like it might be vulnerable to thunder damage, as you damage the drill pretty severely with your thunder wave. All right. Is there anything else you'd like to do, Mr. Skeltal?
I kind of look. Vaudius, you all right up there?
You see Vaudius like burning as he's getting little bits of silver rain down on him.
I'm fine. Found more silver. We're gonna bring this home.
All right. Let me know if you need help. And kind of get myself and kind of keep moving along. I assume the tank is still kind of rolling forward.
Currently it's stopped because it's off. Your unseen servant turned it off and cheated.
Okay, so it's still off. So I'm just there, waiting to see what happens and
gotcha.
If I'm going to get pickaxed.
All right, Billi.
Does Billy say that the tank is off?
Currently, yes.
Billy's going to pretty much cover.
I forgot to take an action for the guard last turn. So I think his action last turn would have just been to attack your unseen servant. I'm sorry, go ahead.
All right, considering that it's off, Billy thinks, the best way to stop it from running again was to make sure nothing could get. Oh! And he greases it.
Oh, no. Well, the unseen servant got blasted last turn.
Yes.
But now it's covered in grease. And the guard, Cheatybeard guard, it's a dexterity save. Oh no! Slips and falls off the tank. Ugh. And let's roll a d4. All right, he falls right toward the front onto the drill. He goes, oh, thank goodness this is off. Anything else you want to do, Billy?
Yeah, pretty much just cry out. Next up, a bonfire.
Oh dear. Cheatybeard guard is going to scramble off, and they are going to begin to flee into the cavern, not wanting to get caught. Daggle, or at least the ones that are awake. Daggle is going to leap down and be like, "You ruined everything." And he's going to attempt to. He walks up to you, Mr. Skeltal, and he takes out a rapier, and then he holds it with two hands and goes to bat you with it, using it completely incorrectly. And he rolls a 7.
And he just kind of swings, and
it goes like
there's
down
just,
your skeletal ribs.
He just like swings and just like right. Well, would have been a nice shot if I wasn't a skeleton, as it just kind of swings between a pair of ribs.
And then kind of, I imagine like xylophones on the way out. Or maybe that was the saxophone. Who would know?
Who knows?
Vaudius, it's your move. It looks like Cheatybeard is actively trying to kill your companion at this point.
I can't let that go. I look to the dwarf I'm carrying. How much more is there here?
That's the last of it.
All right. I'm afraid I'm gonna have to put you down to join the others. There's some cheating going on down there, and I need to save my friends.
Well, obviously, they're called the Cheatybeards.
That's what I thought too, but I try not to judge people based on their exteriors.
Oh, no, we take names based on... Anyway, not the point.
Gotcha. It's cultural. All right, we're going in for a landing. And if there's like a... I don't know. He's like, well, I was hitting that boulder, and I want to go back to it because I felt I was lucky. I want to try and, like, drop him off and then fly over to my friends. Is that going to use all my move? It's 40 feet of fly I have. Am I using all my movement? Do I need to dash as an action?
That would probably take... I think your movement you're trying to get over to Daggle, who's attacking your ally.
Yes, but I also want to set down the dwarf safely.
Yeah, that would probably take about 40 feet, I think.
Okay, so just my fly speed.
I think so.
Okay.
We're very theater of the mind here, so.
Yeah, that's all right. I will then give the aid action to impose disadvantage on attacks and address the assaulter. You've cheated at this game. Cease your attacks now. Let us end this peacefully. I don't want to have to arrest you.
Okay. Are you trying to intimidate him?
Yes, I am an imposing figure. I'm a big old, like, soot-covered bee just flying down out of here and getting all up in his face.
Yeah, can you go ahead and roll me, I guess, an intimidation check? That seems like the way to roll here. All right, he's going to roll. He looks at you, looks at his team, knows that he's been beat. Billy, I assume your turn is setting the thing on fire?
Pretty much.
So, like, behind him, the tank, just all the grease bursts into flames.
I'm buzzing angrily.
Yeah, Terao? And Terao and Mr. Skeltal, do either of you two want to do anything? Is like, he looks like he's, like, about to give.
I just kind of try to be as intimidating as possible and give like the most unease-inducing grin.
Oh, geez.
At him.
All right, so you're trying to scare him on top of like just
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I get you. You're adding on to this intimidation. You can go ahead and also roll me intimidation if you'd like. Oh boy. So he's like scared of you on like a mortality level. Terao?
If the situation's resolved, then no need to further escalate things.
All right. And Billy, you set the thing on fire with, I imagine, a maniacal laugh.
Pretty much, just like laughing and like, nothing like the smell of napalm in the morning.
And
that might be the exact definition of escalating things.
And as the tank in the background bursts into flames and like things start to pop and pieces of metal popping off and breaking, he looks down dejectedly. All right, I give up. Just I don't know. All right, I cheated. Whatever. I'm not a great miner. And Crackjaw walks over. Actually, you're the worst miner. All right, that's all. You can leave now. We're good. And he kind of like looks over at everyone else. All right, guards, arrest that guy. You, Steeltoes, let's see what you got. And Bort's like, but we're the only ones left. Yeah, well, there can be no like best miner. Everyone can be terrible. Like this is real life. This is how like it can be like that. And he kind of looks over, but that's a lot of silver. So I think it's fair to say that the Steeltoes are in fact the best miners in the city of Ag for this year. Congratulations! And there's some clapping and cheering, and Bort looks at you all and says, well, we did it. I pretty much fully expected this, but I'm glad that you were all here to help out and keep those guys in line. I don't know what would happen if that tank had actually gotten to the wall.
I wonder if he made it himself. Perhaps rather than using his talents to cheat, he can use his crafting. That was quite an impressive tank. It's a shame I had to break it.
Truly, that is an important moral lesson, Mr. Skeltal.
My bet is it says made in Sokatoa underneath it.
And then it blows up and a small like chunk of metal just lands on the ground in front of you that says made in Sokatoa. And
called it!
And he looks at you. Well, anyway, thank you all so much for your assistance. I can't offer you anything of real value, he says, looking over toward the pile of silver, and there's some other gold and platinum in there and that big old chunk of quartz. But I can't offer you these worthless Bartholomew bucks. And he hands each of you your respective 100 Bartholomew bucks, and each of you earn 1 point of experience. And you've completed this adventure. Congratulations.
I'll gladly accept it. Ask him if he has a canteen on his hip. I will fill it full of fresh vomit for him as a repayment for the experience. And
he goes, oh, God.
I almost forgot. Here's this gemstone I found as well.
And he looks at it. Oh, it's just a worthless ruby. You want it?
If you don't, wouldn't want to hide it from you.
And yeah, well, congrats, guys. You've completed the event. You spend some time, as much as you wish, in the city of Ag, enjoying the splendors of the city of Silver. And at your leisure, return to Bartholomew's shop. Would any of you like to shop really quickly?
Nah, I'm poor.
We got
for reasons